Hello everyone, and welcome back to another movie review. Today I'm going to be continuing my Criterion review series with Spine number 2, the 1954 Akira Kurosawa classic samurai film, Seven Samurai. I need to make sure I'm showing this correctly. So as you can see, I own this film physically. It is my first early birthday present for my 18th birthday, which is coming up in about 2 weeks. I told my dad I wanted to see this, and he took me to Barnes & Noble and got it for an early birthday present. So that's exciting. I've been wanting to make this movie review for a long time, about 2 months or however long it was since I made my Grand Illusion review, which was Spine number 1. And I know it is much anticipated among my film friends online who have been waiting and asking for this review constantly. So here you go, guys, the moment you've been waiting for. So let's start off with a short plot summary. Seven Samurai follows the story of a small Japanese village that has continually been raided by a group of 40 bandits. The movie makes sure you know that there are 40 bandits, which comes into play later. And the villagers, the farmers, are freaking out. They don't know how they're going to survive another year if they get all their food taken again. So they ask the village elder, what do we do? The village elder tells them to go and recruit some samurai to protect themselves from this year's bandit attack. Or at least this season's bandit attack. So 4 villagers leave. They go to the big city and they recruit samurai. Or they recruit one samurai who ends up expanding the group. The samurai return home with the villagers to prepare. They teach the villagers how to use spears, and they set up fences and moats and all sorts of things to defend the village and make sure that they survive as best they can through this attack. And then the final act is, of course, the battle. The bandits raiding the village, the villagers defending themselves, using strategies, and it flows really, really well. Alright, so I only have a few negatives about this movie, and they're pretty minor in the grand scale of this 3.5-hour movie. So first off, the first half of the second act, at least the first part where the samurai are back in the village preparing before the intermission happens, is pretty slow in my opinion and feels pretty empty. There's not as much character development as I would like, which leads into my second problem, is that 2 or 3 of the samurai don't actually get any character development, which is not a terrible thing, but it sticks out quite a bit because the other samurai and some of the villagers have such amazing personalities and character arcs, and they have so much characterization through all of what they do, that the 2 or 3 characters that sort of take backseat feel a little bit empty, and especially on the focus of there being 7 samurai, and they have a flag that's got 7 symbols on it to represent the samurai. The fact that almost half of them aren't as well developed is kind of disappointing, but it is excusable in the fact that this is a pretty decently sized ensemble film, and the fact that they have so many great characters is impressive in its own right. So I'll start off my positives with just that. The characters are amazing, especially one who's sort of a cocky new samurai named Kikuchiyo, and he is probably the best character of the film, and he's one of the best characters on film in history, honestly, I think. He has such amazing character arcs. He starts off, he's following the samurai, he's being kind of annoying to them, and then he shows his worth, but he shows that he's still kind of rude, and he has a good backstory that fuels into his character, and then a good character arc that finishes near the end, and just an amazing character. So double thumbs up for characters in this movie, which is probably my favorite aspect of this movie, is how well the characters were developed. Another thing is how well the editing techniques hold up. Surprisingly, for a 1954 movie, this movie feels very, very modern. There's a lot of panning shots. Instead of cuts, they move from aerial shots of one part of the village to another instead of cutting from one section of the village to another for a battle. Or there's slow motion that feels very natural, that focuses on moments with consequence, like when someone dies. And the camera placement is really excellent, and the choreography for the people works into the camera placement, where there will be a camera being set, and then you can see everyone lined up, even though they're standing in group. You can see all the faces, and it allows you to get the scale of, wow, there are this many people in this dire situation working together, standing together. It's really impressive. Another thing is how amazing the battles are. This is not just an action movie where people are getting killed left and right like a Mission Impossible or even a modern comic book movie. There's consequence to every death, and that fuels into how well paced the battles are. When you know how many bandits there are, 40, you know how many samurai there are, 7, and then there's, I don't know, you don't know how many villagers there are, but there's, most of the villagers aren't fighting anyway because the women or children are in the buildings. But it allows you to get a sense of what exactly is going on at each moment in the battle, who's winning, which strategies are going to be used, and one of my favorite aspects of the movie is the samurai actually keep a chart of how many bandits they've killed, and out of 40 there's the circles and they exit off every time one is killed, and that allows you to keep track in your mind of how their progress is going, how well they're defending themselves in this situation. I just really enjoy that, and each of the battle techniques that they use, between setting up the fences and the moats and everything that's established in the second act of the preparation, is used really well in the climactic scenes. And there are a couple more things I want to talk about, that being how impressive the shots in nature are. They have it just set up in the woods, or they have it set up in the rain and the mud where the people are riding horses, there are people climbing in trees, and all of these natural shots are so well done that I honestly have no idea how they got most of them, which boggles my mind that something from 1954 can have that much moving magic behind it. And then my final thing is just the actors in this movie. There are obviously quite a few of them. Some of them don't stand out as much as the others, but those that do are just so amazing in their expression of their characterization, in vocal tone and facial expressions and reactions to certain things that really let you get a sense of, oh, this is what their personality is like, even just through facial expressions. And it's that power of the characters, of the actors, leading into their characters, leading into the editing to show how these characters interact, leading into how well the flow of the movie goes, that you just feel it's so natural. The movie flows so well that honestly, even with the negatives that I give it, this is a 5-star movie in my opinion. There's not a lot of classic movies that I consider to be as much masterpieces as other people do, but this is definitely one of them, and it has become one of my favorite movies of all time just in the last few days since I saw it. I give it 5 stars, and I really think you should go see this movie, and of course, buy it on Criterion. There's tons of extras in here. It's 3 discs, the movie's split into 2 discs, and then some extras on the third. There's a booklet here that I'm not sure what it has because I haven't checked it yet, but I can't wait to dig into this. Thank you so much for watching my review, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more movie reviews in the future, and have a great day. Goodbye.